I am so excited to be joined at the Blaze TV booth here at AmFest 2025 by Kyle Rittenhouse, my good friend and a man who needs no introduction. Welcome.
Sara, thank you so much for having me again. I love coming on your show. You've been a great friend for a long time. I've known you for a while now, and it's always an honor to come and talk to you.
Yeah, I've been missing you because, you did move to Texas after all the craziness of, what happened to you, and then you left and moved to Florida. But I don't know. I want to know what's new with you, what you've been up to, and what's next in store for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Absolutely. So in January, I was just done with the media. I was done with the hate. I was done with the lies being pushed against me. It was a lot. It was a lot that I was dealing with. And then I moved to Florida. I took that hiatus. I met my beautiful wife, Bella. And we moved to Colorado. We received some mentorship from Victor and Eileen Marks. And then September 10th happened, a day I'll never forget. And that is a day I decided I need to get back into the fight. Yeah. I need to pick up the mic because what happened on September 10th is not okay. We need more conservative voices out here. We need more than ever, and that is why I'm here.
Yeah, Charlie had a great impact on your life.
Absolutely.
I remember right after everything happened, you showed up at the AmFest stage.
Yeah, so in December of 2021, the first ever America Fest, I was invited to come and speak, and I spoke right next to Charlie Kirk and Jaco Booyens, and it was an amazing experience. So many patriots out there, not as big as it is this year, and it's amazing to see the legacy that Charlie has built and where we are today with America Fest.
Yeah. What is life like for you on a daily basis? Like, do you get recognized a lot? Is the reception warm? Is it cold? Does it depend on where you go?
Well, my appearance has changed dramatically in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
When I took that hiatus, I wasn't getting really recognized a lot. I kind of just disappeared off of the face of Earth. I was able to blend in society. But now that I'm here, people know what I look like again because I'm back to doing media. I'm back to fighting for the good fight. I'm advocating for the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
And it really depends where I go. I know I've had countless death threats since I've gotten back into the fight. I've had people saying they're going to assassinate me, kill me. They're going to do terrible, terrible things because that's the left. We've seen an increase in left-wing violence since August 25th, 2020, when they tried to kill me in the streets of Kenosha, to now. It's only gotten worse, and our job as conservatives and our job as Americans and Christians, to be frank, is to stand up and fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you went through what you went through, and obviously the jury got it right, but I still see the left calling you a murderer. How do you handle that?
I know the truth. I handle it very well because I know what I did was the right thing. I defended myself, and I wouldn't be alive today. You covered my case very well. You were my first interview I did right after Tucker Carlson. I went on Blaze with you, and you promoted the truth. You told the truth about my case, you and Chad Prather, and it was just amazing to see so many people in the independent media actually stand up. But the left doesn't change. The left pushes lies. They push their narrative that's not true. And to be frank, they're just a bunch of gay, trans retards.
That is true. I can't argue with that. So obviously there's a lot of work to be done on the Second Amendment. What would you say, like if you were consulting a Second Amendment advocacy group, what would you tell them they should be focusing on in order to keep us free? Because even in, say the state of Texas, we have issues. So it's kind of rampant, and I think people forget about that.
Absolutely. We need to abolish the NICS system. We need to abolish the NFA. We need to get the government out of the Second Amendment because it is not a government issue. It is a constitutional right that the government has no business impeding on.
Yeah. Do you ever think about, if the jury had gotten it wrong? Do you ever just think, wow, I could be sitting in a jail cell right now for absolutely no reason other than I was defending my own life?
Well, absolutely. There's two things that I do think about. I think about what would have happened if I would have let them kill me on August 25th. That is the first thing I think about. I wouldn't be here today. I'd be in heaven with my Father and looking down at everybody. I'm glad I'm here today.
And by the way, they 100% would have killed you.
100%.
The evidence was very clear on that.
Absolutely. And the second thing I do think about is, what if the jury did get it wrong?
Yeah.
Would people still be advocating for the Second Amendment? Would we have a right to self-defense in this country? Because it wasn't me on trial. It was America on trial. It was me as the face of it. It was me being persecuted, but they weren't coming after Kyle Rittenhouse. They were coming after the Second Amendment and the right to self-defense because we saw what the left wing does. They wanted an excuse to go out in the streets and murder innocent people and not have people stand up and defend themselves. And if they did defend themselves, they will face the full political machine and get thrown in prison if they do.
Yeah, you're right. And at the same time that they're doing that, Kyle, I mean, I know I don't have to tell you, there's the Daniel Pennies of the world and people who actually go out there and try to save people, actually try to defend people, and they get their lives upended from it. And at the same time that they're doing that, though, Kyle, they are releasing violent criminals onto the streets. I mean, you have the case of Irina Zaruska, where, this man was, what was it, like 30 times or something absurd that he was in prison, and he kept getting released and released and released because they want to, at the same time that they want to deny you the ability to defend yourself, they want to bring violent criminals into the streets.
Sarah, I think this is the left's plan. Their plan is to release as many violent criminals on the street so they can extinct the conservatives and wash us free from this earth. But we can't let that happen. We need to go out and train. We need to be an armed society because an armed society is a polite society. People need to stand up and they need to fight and they need to not bend the crow because you see so many conservatives that are like, oh, I don't want to get involved in that issue. It's a little bit controversial. We need to say screw being controversial and we need to stand up for what's right because if we're not, they're going to take us over and we're going to lose.
Yeah, it gives me no actual pride to say this, but I've had to have a conversation with my husband where I'm like, listen, if you're at a public place and something goes down, I'm scared for you to be the good guy, right? Like, I'm actually scared for you to try to defend someone else's life because I worry that they're going to put you in jail and then you won't be able to be with your family. And I hate that. I hate that because he's a man and he should feel like he should be able to defend people. But that's where we're at in society right now. Mm-hmm. That's just where we're at.
Absolutely. I mean, they will politically persecute you. They will put your entire life on trial in the court of public opinion, the court of law, and try to destroy you. If not, they will destroy you. You saw what they did in Texas with Daniel Perry before he was pardoned by Governor Abbott for defending himself from this man, Garrett Foster, who pointed an AK-47 at him. You see how they treat half the law enforcement that defend themselves in Austin, Texas, specifically during the riots and how they went after those 12 officers. You saw Daniel Penny, how they went after him. It's not stopping. It's only getting worse. And now they have resorted to murdering us to try to silence our voices.
Do the death threats make you nervous?
Look, Sarah, I believe in God. I know where I'm going at the end of the day. Death does not scare me. I'm not scared because at the end of the day, I know where I'm going.
Yeah. What's next for you in 2026?
I have a big announcement coming January 5th, but I'm going to continue fighting for the Second Amendment. I'm going to fight for freedom of speech. I'm going to fight for the pro-life movement. I'm going to fight for border security, and there's so much more to come. And I know in 2028, we need to get J.D. Vance elected as the next president of the United States of America.
Yes, your lips to God's ears. I am very concerned because, we live in the Trump 2.0 world where everything is great, and, I mean, we have our fair share of problems, but boy, would we have more problems if Kamala Harris was in charge. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, this is great, but it really could change on a dime.
Well, what's really good to see is President Trump is leading in the polls by 5%, and he legally cannot run for president again, and he's already beating Kamala Harris, who's at 4%, which is just an embarrassment to Kamala, who was auto-penned Biden's vice president, who did absolutely nothing for this country, only dug us into a deeper hole. The violence we saw during Biden's term, I don't even want to call him President Biden because the auto-pen was doing everything.
He was fake. Also, the election was stolen.
100% the election was stolen, but at the end of the day, I think God did that on purpose. Because I think if we would have had 2 terms of Trump simultaneously, we would not have the change we have today.
I agree because back then people were still worried about mean tweets, right? They were still worried about, but President Trump said something mean on the internet. Well, you know what?
Now we have President Trump calling it out. Calling Tim Walz a retard, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think it did take their perspective to realize what matters more, the mean tweets or actually keeping our streets safe and secure, keeping our country secure, getting illegals out of our country, making sure that our kids can go to school without fear of harm. I mean, these are the things that are important to people, and they realized, I think, in hindsight, maybe the mean tweets weren't so bad.
The mean tweets were amazing, and they were well needed, and they're still well needed. I love what President Trump's doing. I love the bombings of the boats with the fentanyl on it, and I love ICE going out in the mass deportations, because at the end of the day, it's making our country safer, and it's making a society that I actually want to raise kids in.
Yeah, no,
Not yet.
Oh, okay. I
Not
thought
yet.
maybe we had an announcement, a Kyle Rittenhouse
no.
exclusive announcement.
No, not yet, not yet. No.
Well, I'm excited to see what's in store for you. I'm so happy that you're here to celebrate the legacy of Charlie Kirk. I know he meant so much to you. And
So much to everybody here.
Yes, everybody here. Tell everyone where they can follow you. I know you like restarted social media, so tell everyone where they can
So
follow
I
you.
restarted social media. You can give me a follow at Rittenhouse 2A, and that is on all social media platforms: X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can give me a follow there, Rittenhouse 2A.
And so whatever your big announcement is, will they find it there?
Yes, you will find it on social media. January 5th. Stay tuned.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much, my friend Kyle Rittenhouse.
Thank you, Sarah.